Board of Adjustment meeting to order. Now's the time we'll go to a roll call. We're not in any particular order, so I'll just start. So Mayor Franz Flowers.
Commissioner Papad.
Commissioner Larry Wiggins.
Commissioner Jim Jones.
Commissioner Terry Evans. Second by Lane Thomas.
Emily Hurst, Sam Carter.
Member Combs not turning.
Bill Guerrero, 10 minutes.
All right, that is a roll call. We do have a quorum, so we can certainly proceed here. We need an approval on the minutes for the October 4th, 2018 meeting. Action request is to approve as submitted. Do I hear a motion?
Motion approved.
Second.
All right, got a first and a second. Is there any discussion before we move to vote? All right, hearing none, all in favor? And any opposed? All right, motion carries. There is no old business, so we'll move right along into the new business, which is conditional use permit, North Carolina Turf Care Corporation at 321 North Nassau Street. At this point, I will turn it over to our town attorney to give a brief outline of the hearing conduct, as this is not a regular somewhat town hall meeting, but it's more of a quasi-judicial. So, Mr. Buckholm.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first Board of Adjustment meeting that we've had in 2019. The Board of Adjustment is where the town is sitting as a quasi-judicial unit. Quasi-judicial unit basically means that instead of sitting as a legislative body, which is the normal function of our Board of Commissioners, they're sitting as judges and determining whether or not the conditional use is something that we can do under the laws and ordinances of the town of Youngsville and the state of North Carolina. To that end, if anybody is going to be speaking tonight, they have to have standing in order to do so. Standing means that you are somebody who is adjacent to the property or will be directly affected by the use of the property. Typically, that means that you have to be a neighbor to the property, front, back, sideways, or across the street, in order to be somebody who has standing. If you are not one of those people, then unfortunately you will not be able to speak in controversy or an approval of this permit. Finally, we'll be going into a voting section at the end where I will be reading different things that have to be tailored regarding this type of situation. And so long as everything comes out the way it should or the way it can, the conditional use permit will be approved or denied based on the answers that the commissioners give. Mayor Flowers is not acting as a voting member at this time. He is actually our parliamentarian, so he helps to make sure the meeting goes forward and make sure. Any questions?
Do we have any other comments? All right, so now's the point where we would swear anyone in. So if you're here tonight and you would like to speak, whether it's for or against the approval or dismissal of this, you would want to be sworn in. Our town clerk will swear you in at this point. So I think Mr. Thomas and anyone from Turf Care, any of your neighbors, if you want to give any kind of testimony, you need to be sworn in at this time.
Even if you don't say you're going to speak, it's better to be sworn in and then speak later just in case. Right, if this way you're covered, you don't have to speak, but this does cover you.
If you're not sworn in, you will not be allowed to speak.
I'm going to do this group the first time, and then I'll get the next group for the second one. If everybody will at least touch this, with your right hand, or your left hand and raise your right hand. It's one of those things. It's one of those things. Okay. Do you solemnly swear that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. Okay, your name?
Emily Hurd.
Well, Would you raise your right? Do you solemnly swear that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I did.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, so the chair, his or her designee, will give a preliminary statement describing the case and identifying the property involved in the issue for the board. I'll turn that over to Mr. Thomas to give us a statement on that.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Town Board. It's good to be in front of you again. It's been a while. Maybe I've gotten a little better since the last time I was here. Probably not. This is a conditional use permit application for property at 321 North Nassau Street for a request for lawn care landscaping business. The applicant is NC Turf Care. Plan staff findings. Ron Terrell signed and filed a complete application with site-specific plan exhibits on August 7th, 2018. Excuse the date, that's not right. To the 8th of September. Request a conditional use permit for a lawn care landscaping business. 2, the applicant has a signed agreement to purchase. Number 3, the property consists of a single lot consisting of approximately 8 acres. There is an existing warehouse with 2 driveways. The applicant intends to use the property for an expansion of the lawn care landscaping business. Part of the building will also be available as flex space. The preliminary site plan illustrates the arrangement of drives, building, parking, fuel storage, and other mulch to be stored. It is noted that employees will park on the site. And 5, the subject property is located at 321 North Nassau Street in the mixed-use MU district, where service establishment where outdoor sales are permitted as a conditional use for section 309.1.3E. I would say that it's only the outdoor storage element of the application that brings it to you tonight. If you were to operate currently inside the building, you would not need a conditional use permit. On the next page, you see an aerial photo of the existing warehouse and drives. All the property around it is zoned RS, residential single family. Property to the west is vacant wooded land. Fire department was self-met with the applicant on April 26, 2019, where the applicant indicated desire to use the property improvements as is. There is an existing drive to the rear of the property. There's a paved area to the north of the building. Number 7, if the application is considered favorable, the staff recommends the following condition. Any additional lighting to be directed inward towards the site, no increase in lumens beyond the property line. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions from Mr. Thomas?
The fencing appears to be going to the front of the building.
What appears to be one of the front of the building?
Does that meet our present fencing requirements? On the layout drawing, the fencing goes to the front wall of the building.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
He's asking about fencing along the front of the building. Is that correct?
I didn't think fencing could go more than 50% up the side of the building.
You can think you could go more than 50% up the side of the building?
Not understanding the question.
Is he allowed to put the fencing along the front of the building?
Fencing along the front? Yes, sir. There's already an existing fence there in front of it.
No, there isn't.
No, it's not.
He's proposed putting the fencing along the
My
front of
question
the building,
is,
instead of line with the front of the building.
my understanding is the ordinance says that you can't fence full height more than 50% of the side of the building. This appears to be going all the way to the front.
It goes along the line of the front of the building, that parking lot across the back.
That's right. I don't think our fence ordinance allows that.
I believe it does, so I'll be glad to check that.
If you would.
Okay, we've got to do some conflict of interest and bias. I will ask the question and then I will point and have every commissioner sign off accordingly. So the chair asks, does any board member have any of the following possible disqualifications from hearing or voting on this case? The town attorney to inquire of all board members whether it's regarding the conflict, or the attorney or chair may address this. So conflict of interest and bias reads, board members shall not participate in a vote when a member has an impermissible conflict of interest. Impermissible conflicts include, but are not limited to, a fixed opinion prior to hearing the matter that is not susceptible to change, an undisclosed ex parte communication, a financial interest in the outcome of the matter, or a close familial, business, or other associational relationship with any affected person or entity. I'll start with Commissioner Red. Do you have any of those following?
I do not know, sir.
Okay. Commissioner
I do
Sullivan?
not.
Commissioner Wiggins?
I do not.
Commissioner
I do not.
And Commissioner
I do
Evans?
not.
All right. Check that box. And we will move along into the point of the meeting where the applicant will be able to present evidence. Did you?
So I have the answer to Mr. Wiggins' question. That is for fences that are more than 75% solid. And they're proposing to use a chain link fence.
Isn't their chain link fence going to have slats in it on the front and sides to make it more solid?
5 feet from height, which is 75%. Solid may be placed in the front door, including along the sidewalk line to the front of the building. This fence will not be 75% solid. So that's not a problem.
So just confirming, a chain link fence that has slats in it so that you cannot see through it is not 75% solid?
Chain link fence that has slats in it will be 75%.
Would it be 75%?
I do.
All right. Anything else? Anything else?
But it does say the board, it can be approved by the board of commissioners.
So I guess we just have to confirm that it is against the ordinance so that we can approve it as a condition. Is that correct?
I would approve the condition that it conforms with the current ordinance for fencing. And we would have to do additional research on whether, when it's constructed, the fence complies with the ordinance. That would be my recommendation.
They were speaking to the names, right?
I mean, he just said it doesn't comply.
No, that's your point, correct? That it doesn't comply.
Unless approved by the Owensville Board of Commissioners. You
lose it.
Let's go.
Okay, just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. So now would be the time in the meeting for the applicant to present evidence in support of his or her application. Evidence includes testimony, application, maps, etc. So do we have anyone from North Carolina Turkey? Yes. Floor is yours, sir.
Prepared to answer questions. I guess really it's what we're trying to do with the property. I mean, we were talking about screening 2 minutes ago. The front privacy screening, would be those green slats, yes. But I think we talked about the size, as long as there's a buffer screening, bushes, plants, etc., which we would do. So it would still be open. If that kind of clarifies what I'm thinking. But as for what we're doing, I mean, we're a landscaping company here. We're on Burmester Road currently right now. Been in the Youngsville market for 14 years since we started this company. Just looking for a place that we can grow with and get bigger. We're asking for the outdoor use just as we grow. I mean, with most piles or a trailer, pine strip every now and then, vehicles parked, things like that. I just wanted to get this permit so then as we do grow into the space, we're okay, basically. As for, I think the form I filled out with the condition things, impact around surrounding areas, neighboring with properties. I mean, I don't think we're going to be a nuisance. I mean, that building's, in my opinion, been around about for 10 years. I think we're going to make it better and improve it. And my goal is to slowly, continually bring it back to life with, landscaping plants, paint, simple things like that. I mean, just, in my opinion, is kind of a dying property that needs to come back to life, and that's what we want to do. So, that's really all I have to say. If you guys have questions, I'd go and answer them.
So in the plan, you
Yeah.
have lights on, I think that's the south side, right? So it said there are 2 LED light poles, but there's nothing on the north side. Is everything you do on one side?
Just at this point, for the side that we're going to use, the lights are really for theft. We've been broken into countless times on Burmester Road. We just wanted to illuminate facing the building, so it cuts down on theft activity. That's really all that's for.
Because I got a gas station in my backyard, so I always am concerned about lighting for residential people that are near that. So just wanted to confirm it'll be shining towards the building.
Absolutely, yes. Just like we have now. I mean, our building now, they're building 200 homes beside us, and everything's facing inward. I mean, it's going to be like a night light maybe, but they come with those LED lights, and it's all shining towards the building. Okay.
So they will be directional lights.
Directional
Not
lights.
just an area light.
Yeah, just be directional, like the Wake Electric River puts in that directional light.
What about your application then?
My application, though?
This application.
Yeah, you can. I don't remember what I wrote, but
I think we need to put that. What do you want? Your company?
Yeah, this is NC Georgia. Bear with me. So I have the application as NC Georgia 1. And I think we need to do the map separately. Application is NC Turf Care 1, map NC Turf Care 2, and testimony NC Turf Care 3.
Do you want those as separate motions for the record? Can we include all 3? Okay. Do I hear a motion to include the evidence as Emily has just presented? The map, application is number 1, the map is number 2, the testimony is evidence number 3. Do I hear a motion to I have a first and a second. Whoever wants the first, whoever wants the second is a toss-up. So I go to the vote. Any discussion before we move to vote? And hearing none, all in favor? And any opposed? All right. Entered into evidence. Obviously, so for all witnesses, members of the board, and other small witnesses can cross-examine the witness. Each questioner can ask their questions, and when done, cannot ask other questions of the witness unless based on new evidence or questions asked since that person had an opportunity to ask. So is there additional questions from the commissioners? Are there any questions from any of the sworn witnesses?
When the sworn witnesses, yes, there's a lot of questions.
Okay.
If you just state your name
Yeah,
and
now-
start talking for the record.
Name and address. Steve Eagle, 109 Anderson Park Drive. My property is directly adjacent behind this, as everybody here is, this is all Anderson Park. Can I ask a favor, please, from somebody, you guys have a lot plan? Could we see that? Give us just a minute to look at it.
You guys want more than one?
Yes,
thank you. Go ahead.
And keep in mind, anytime you hear this happen, this information is available at town hall ahead of time.
Yes,
You don't pick this information up, normally beforehand.
And we would suggest these other things should be able to be put up on the screen so everybody can see it.
If they have the, information brought the way that they can, we will allow that.
It just should be done. It should be done so the public can see it.
Just for everyone's clarification as well, you can obviously ask the applicant questions, get clarity, things of that nature. If you are opposed to what is presented, you actually have your own chance to speak publicly. So just make sure everyone's kind of on the same page.
You have a question there?
Yeah, I just have a question. Hi, Sally Bugle, 109 Anderson Park Drive. So you said that the lights are going to be directional, they'll be turned inward towards the main warehouse. Did I also hear that the lumens will be no more than what they are today, so they won't be any brighter than what is there today? Because that would be a concern for adjoining properties.
I don't know if there's any lights there currently. It's whatever the Wake Electric puts in.
That was part of the staff recommendation, no increase in lumens beyond property line.
Please note, that's a staff recommendation, so that's the planning board recommended that we add that as a condition. So that would have to be, when we decide to approve it, we would have to add that as a condition. So that currently is not something that he has to adopt. Okay.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And one other question, we were talking about the slats earlier on the chain link fence. How high was the fence? I missed that as well. Is that a 6-foot
It
fence?
was 6, yeah.
Thank you.
Jay Dove, 103 Anderson Park. I was asking, how close is that fence to the property line?
I think 10 foot on the side is whatever the minimum setback requirements are.
So it has to be 10 feet off of the property line?
Yeah.
What are your hours of operations?
7 a.m. till 6 p.m. kind of mentality.
Okay. Do you foresee any trucks coming in late at night?
No, we won't be late at night. I think
How many employees are going to be sat in that?
So we're currently at about 45 employees.
roads have actually into our bedroom. So it is a concern for me. Also the fact that it's a chain link fence that you only plan on putting privacy slats in the front would concern me, because we do have animals and there are fences. If that is just plain chain link, I can just picture my dogs going crazy all day long as far as barking. So I would probably think about, and also a buffer, a chain link fence is really not a sound buffer. Some of us don't need, the sounds are not something that we would want.
Right,
That's
well,
favorable.
I mean, being a landscape business, once we leave, and I wrote that in the description, there's no one there all day. So we're in the mornings, we're gone all day, we're in at night. That's the extent of our impact in the joint properties. Other than that, it's a few office people at the warehouse all day. During the buffer, whatever the city requirements were, either buffering with screening, planting material, or the green slats, that's what the recommendations are, we'll do that for the adjacent properties. The lighting, like I said, if there's a light on the building shining towards you, my personal preference is to, like, when the light bulb burns out mentality, like, let it burn out on shining from your houses towards my building, because that little light on the building doesn't do anything for security purposes, in my opinion. That's what we're doing right now currently. We let them all burn out and we just let the meeting just use the city light.
There's one that's directly attached to the building that faces
Right off the
to the
left.
woods. That was, dramatically bright.
Yeah, I have no problem breaking it.
Do we have any other questions for the applicant?
Steve Deal, 190 Park Drive. One of the things I'm concerned about, but I don't know the answer to, is noise levels.
Right.
Moving all the equipment in, moving all the equipment back, things and trucks and such, and company going, getting multiples. Give me an honest answer, what's the noise level like?
Well, based on what, being that it's a machine shop, heavy industrial right now, I think we're bringing it down a notch to more that retail space kind of mentality. Yeah, we're going to be there working, we're going to make noise. We have mowers, we started off to move them here and there. But overall, it's like a short period of time. And I mean, I just think as an overall, like from 7 to 7 mentality, the impact is little to none versus a machine shop beating on equipment all day long.
Yeah, we never heard of them. We've all heard of machine shops. Anybody else?
Hi, again, Sally Buell, 190 Park. You said your hours were like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah,
for the
sure.
most part. Is that Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday, Saturdays, unless it rains in the week, Sundays never.
Jay, I don't want to bring this one. Is there any plans in place for there are a ton of children on that road? As far as the equipment coming in, going out with, do you have something in place for your employees to take care of that? Or to be more mindful of that? Because I have a young son that plays in that area, with kids across the street,
Yeah, I mean, impact, basically where we are now on Bergman's Road, our impact to Youngsville and impact to Fleming Road is probably going to be about the same because we drive up and down it every day anyways. I don't see it being a huge difference other than it's a little more concentrated.
I have a question. You have 45 employees now, but you're looking to grow.
Sure.
That's a lot of growing. There's a lot of people coming in. I drove by the road today and I kind of did a little circle, and it looks like on your map that the employee parking would be all on the back of the building. So do you plan on taking out any of the, like the green that's back there?
Possibly some of it.
You would have to get cars in that, right?
Yes.
And will that be ample parking for that many people?
And a lot of them, I mean, some direct report, some are managers, long-term goal, yeah, I mean, to grow satellite offices, I mean, am I going to have 200 people in one spot? Probably not. But, it's a place to store fertilizer or, water tanks and whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
What's your largest truck?
We have like 550 dump trucks, we have, usually box trucks, that's it. We don't have semi trucks, so just your regular pickups and stuff like that.
But dump trucks also.
Just a 550 dump truck, not like cannon wheel.
Right.
Just a 550.
All right, do we have any other questions for the applicant?
Does this mean we have to find somewhere for our Christmas party?
It actually does. And that is being handled, so.
No, I didn't know that.
So that's our state recording.
Now you've done it. My question is the fuel tank over here, how big is that fuel tank?
The gas tank's 1,000 gallons and the diesel tank's 500 gallons, which currently we have the same thing set up where we're now, which is the county approved it all, and it's run by batteries, so it's not fully powered all the time.
And you still have to running the water?
The guy's still there is working.
And what, or no, sorry, yeah.
Will there be odor to neighbors, fuel tank, a lot of?
Not more than the typical gas tank.
What is that, the containment unit for the gas?
What the county asked me to do is just put barricades around so no one can run into it. It's a double wall tank contained, inspected by the fire marshal, so on and so forth. Fire temperature, everything that's required is there.
I think we have another question.
Yeah, Mike Smulders, one-way Anderson Park. Do we foresee any traffic pattern changes? Because it's actually zoned no through trucks in that area right now. As far as road widening or stoplights or anything like that?
That's more of a DOT question, but that's a DOT state road. That would have to be, there would have to be some research done on the impact, unfortunately, after the fact, to see. It wouldn't be anything that the DOT would come in and widen the road or put a stoplight up, because it may or may not be approved. It's almost like, you don't build a road to a subdivision and everything's built. So I think what would have to happen is they would have to do a study after the fact to see the wear and tear on the roads, the additional traffic, if it would require stop signals and things of that nature.
So does let's say an F-550 require a CDL license?
I don't think so, but I don't know the answer to that.
Only if it goes over 26,000 miles gross.
Only if it's over 26,000.
Zone go through trucks in that certain area.
I've got a Silverado 2500 for full gooseneck trailer with no license for 25,999 pounds, which only requires a Class A license, not a CDL.
Okay. Any other questions before we move along?
I have one. Angela Lynn, 110 Anderson Park Drive. So you said the parking lot behind in the green area, how far away is that going to be from property line? Is that still 10 feet?
Sorry, the fence in the back?
No, you said the parking lot for your employees was going to be in the back where the green is.
Sure.
That's where my house is. And we bought that house because it's all wood. So I'm just wondering
Oh, the back of the building?
Yes.
Yeah, the back of the building facing the woods?
Yes.
Yes.
So what I'm asking, what I'm asking is our backyard is right there on the back. So I'm asking how far away from the property line are you wanting to build the parking lot?
Well, the fence is going to be requirements 10 or 50 foot.
Okay, so it's going to be inside.
It'd be inside, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
That was my question.
you don't want to be parking on your driveway.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there won't be any additional parking added to what's already existing.
Okay, perfect.
Right?
Yeah, and
I
the
mean,
paved
unless
area.
it's in the back, but that's the back of the
Okay.
building,
Yeah.
not back from here.
Okay,
that's
yeah.
the answer.
Back of the building.
Yeah, that's what I needed.
Mike Smulders, one-way Anderson Park again. Is there going to be any deconstruction or reconstruction of that existing property?
Not at this time.
Okay, so you guys are going to just try to remodel what's there?
Yes.
surrounded by homes and children and families and, you know, we bought in this area for a reason. And, you know, honestly, I think most of us would rather see that building.
So is there a specific question for him? Because if you were, so I think where you're going with that, that would be testimony that you would give in opposition. So I just want to make sure that we.
Oh, sure, okay.
Okay, all right. We're getting there. Yeah, we're definitely getting there. So any more questions? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for other witnesses in support of the application. They would have the floor at this time. Again, evidence includes testimony, contracts, maps, etc. Any witnesses in support? Okay, we'll move along. Planning and zoning administrator or designee presents any staff findings or evidence. I know you've already addressed a lot of that. Was there anything additional that you would like to add at this time?
Just recommend as a condition that the lighting be directed inward, and no increase in lumens at the property line, and the approval of the 75% solid fence on the side as well.
All right.
Andy, can you clarify? So the only reason why this application is for this Board of Adjustment is because of the outdoor storage, correct?
Exactly.
You would be able to do everything that he's asked with or without approval tonight. The only reason why we're here is because he wants additional outdoor storage. Is that correct?
That's exactly correct.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns before we move on? All right.
You move that staff findings and evidence and means testimony.
Everyone kind of know that we read.
Will be Youngsville 1. Thomas testimony. The Youngsville 2. And that's it. Staff findings and Ainsley's testimony.
Okay. So I need to hear a motion to enter into evidence staff findings as Youngsville number 1 and as well as Ms. Thompson's testimony as Youngsville number 2. Do I hear a motion?
Motion moved. Second.
And a second. All right. Any discussion before we move to vote to enter into evidence? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay. Now is the time. Persons opposed to the granting the application will present their evidence against the application. Evidence includes testimony, contracts, maps, etc. So if you are opposed, the floor is yours.
I'm actually okay with it.
How do you go around this part? So more so from, I think our concern is in the business itself. I think it's really the way in which it looks to those of us around it. When we started the sales, you know, we bought in here, these are investments to us. We don't want to lose property value because our backyards are looking out on, you know, a commercial looking property. We've been thrilled with what we've been looking at to begin with. I would just ask that if you can at least improve that, and you are a landscaping company, and perhaps you could use those talents to also better the way in which it appears. I think you would find that we would feel a whole lot better about that.
Any questions? Very good. Did you have any? Great. So just so everyone knows, if you do get up there and speak, you do get cross-examined, so to speak. You thought you were getting off easy, I see that.
No, and they will also have an opportunity to make a rebuttal, as everybody
we're talking about outside storage. The reason why I'm asking for it is because what I'm not putting outside of those ideas is that we're allowed to put a fence up and mow grass as long as we meet the ordinances that you guys approve that. We just want, can I jump 2 houses instead of 1? And that's kind of my, why we're here. But as an overall, yeah, I mean, I've got visions of taking this property, bringing it back to life, but it takes some time. But my goal is to improve your value as much as it's to improve my value.
For me, my property is probably the most wide open to that. And I have a young son who's curious and with pine trees and everything else as well as the neighborhood. But it is literally wide open, like people will park in my driveway and walk to the break. So there's no buffer there. So for me, a big concern would be the safety of the kids there, because they are curious. So having more than a chain link fence that they could very easily climb would be awesome. That privacy just to set a buffer of, like you said, improving with the shrubs and that type of thing. And maybe if you do the approval to get like a more solid down that side would probably make me feel a little better and safer. And I also have young grandchildren from the ages of 4 down to, about 100 stuff. So when you throw that into the mix and I see them outside playing, or my dog's playing, but mainly my kids, and the curiosity factor, they're going to see these big, awesome vehicles and trucks and everything. And then I also have to worry about when is that fuel tank or fill your tanks coming, because that's obviously going to be something big, or do you actually take your tank somewhere to have them filled?
They come and fill it during business hours. It's just a regular, not a 18-wheeler, it's just kind of a smaller, mid-size fill up tank. Like you came 10 minutes ago, it was pumped in the car and it's 50. As for your buffer question, yes, our goal is to improve. We might not all be up today, but we're going to follow the ordinances that are been presented in the guidelines. And can we add more, to certain properties that have no screening? Because on one side, it's fully screened kind of now. We don't really have to do anything. The other side might not have much, so we might have that more. We're going to work with it as a whole. That's our goal.
And I don't know if that's a question for you guys that we could present that for those of us who are more on the north side that aren't getting the LED lights, but they're going to be aimed that way, which would be towards the building, but in our eyesight, that buffer and possibly going ahead and improving a fence would be an amazing kind of give and take for us to settle our nerves and help us feel like our privacy, our thoughts have been protected in this whole situation as well. And just like Sally would say, we do want to be beautiful. We do enjoy that property. Sometimes taking Jacob out and play ball or whatever. So that's something that we talk about. It would be wonderful if something good and pretty could come and bring it back to life. So if you're willing to do that, that makes me feel much better. But like I said, I do have those concerns just because kids are kids, curiosity there, we're all at once. So that's my fear. And like I said, I'm the most exposed. Other than the very first house that's actually on Nassau, my house is the next one that is most exposed on that north side. So
I don't know, depending on location, you might intentionally come up to the back to property based on.
it's just beyond it's beyond the parking lot, but I would, I wouldn't want my kids to do that. And then at the same sense, my other question too, which, speaking of the parking lot, was do you do a background check on your employees? Because if there isn't a fence that's close by and I give the kids in the backyard, I want to be aware that you're taking precautions, we're taking precautions, in the same way our kids are safe.
Mike's father is from the Anderson Park. From a mechanic's point of view, which is my grade kind of concerned about if there's any kind of vehicle maintenance or lawn care maintenance that's going to be done on the property, and if so, if there's going to be any kind of hazardous waste or disposal of any kind of fluids.
No mechanic vehicles, we take to the shop, we do basic maintenance on our mowers inside. So minimal oil.
Okay, so like he's going to work on like your lawn mowers and air blowers and whatnot. Okay. That's very good.
All right, do we have anything else?
Real quick. My name's Jay. Again. Has anybody from the town thought about what is it going to do to the property values? And how's that going to affect the long run? And how long is the business in place? Business is good, for everybody, especially for a small town like this. But how is it going to affect the property value? Those types of things for the future.
Here's the thing, this is a personal opinion. There's already commercial right in the middle of residential, and it happened years ago,
Right.
and it was a bad decision, but it's there.
Right.
So I think that anything done to that building is an increase in value.
Right.
That building is ridiculous, it's hard to look at.
So maybe
So
this-
I think if you get someone who really cares, who wants to grow their business, with a landscaping company, so you can make it look
And
pretty.
he seems genuine in his intentions. Seems
I
very
don't
good.
know how this is a
Just
bad
want to
thing.
make sure that, the property is going to definitely.
Yeah,
Well,
but again,
As
that's
far as,
our decision.
not necessarily our personal property.
We just have to make
but
sure
we're a little better
he
than what it does.
We have to make sure he meets the regulations, not that he increases the property value. That's great if he does, but our job is not that, as a commission.
And the only people that can actually testify about property values are experts in property values. The statute that governs these types of events are pretty clear about that. So unfortunately, the board has no right or reason to deal
Well,
with that.
making it look better is going to be great, but, if I got runoff of gas because somebody didn't properly install something from a tank, and the fumes are in my backyard, I'm going to have a problem.
All right, do we have any additional testimony? All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and move forward. Before voting to close the hearing, the chairperson or his or her designee, which would be Mr. Thomas, once again, will summarize the evidence that has been presented. Actually, Ms. Hurd will probably do the same thing, giving the parties opportunity to make corrections or objections. Also, staff should designate any conditions that the board should consider, which we've already done that as well. So anyone that you want to review the evidence that's been submitted, just to make sure that we're clear for the record and make any corrections we need.
Just double check, that's pulling up.
First thing we're going to do is everybody dispose in evidence.
And for the record, I'm not opposed to him having the business or having the other stuff or whatever, nothing like that. I just want to make sure it's done right, that's all.
I understand.
Alright, so as of right now, we have Youngsville 1, which is staff findings. Youngsville 2, which is Thomas testimony. And do we need to do the testimony as one in each individual person, or can I list everybody's name out for the testimony in the name of the
That should.
So Youngsville 3, which is the testimony.
That should be
So we have.
Okay, so we have Youngsville 1 staff findings, Youngsville 2 as Thomas testimony. We will need a motion to enter in opposing testimony. And then under NC Turf Care 1 is the application, NC Turf Care 2 is their map, and NC Turf Care 3 is Brian's testimony. Everything's been entered into evidence except for opposing testimony.
Okay, so before we go with any kind of like rebuttal or anything like that, I'll ask for a motion to enter in to evidence the opposing testimony. Do I hear a motion? All right. Any discussion on that before we move to vote?
It will be listed in the minutes, everybody, as opposing testimony, everybody's name listed for the minutes.
All right. Any additional discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none, all in favor? And any opposed? All right, opposing testimony is entered into evidence. Doesn't need any conditions, we've already got that from Mr. Thomas. Okay, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to close the hearing. Sorry, so we haven't, did you guys see the evidence that was listed? The commissioners have any questions? Do you guys have any questions?
I did have one question. Is there any talk about the property, the big wooded area by the railroad tracks, north of railroad, what is it?
Yeah, I think the question at hand was there any questions in regards to the testimony?
Yeah, that's all.
No, it's okay. It's okay. These are not something that we do very often, so it's difficult for us as well. I've never been a judge in my life. We do have an attorney on hand, luckily, so but we can try to answer that question for you later. It's just if it doesn't pertain exactly to this, we really can't.
I understand.
You can just contact town hall and ask for any of your involved, and they should be able to help you with that information.
So I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion moved.
Second.
All right. Got the first and a second. Do I hear any discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none, all in favor? And any opposed? Motion carries. Now it's time for us to deliberate the case. All deliberations are open to the public, and any additional testimony is not taken during deliberations. However, the board may discuss proposed conditions with the applicant. And I do feel like we have some of that. So, open to deliberation. Any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts? Y'all cover everything pretty well?
I just have one.
Sure.
So in regards to our requirements, ordinance-wise, the only thing that pops up, let me know if I'm right or wrong, is the outside sewer. Is that correct? Everything
Got some
else is-
reason why we're in here.
Okay, that's why I'm going to, just want to make sure that I understand that when we come to conditions. Thank you.
No, it's a good question. So, he's saying that the fence is not an issue. Do we need, that's all we're deliberating.
The lumens and the fence, 75%.
Well, the definition for the outside storage, is that just the mulch portion of it, or is that equipment included in that storage picture? So what are we talking about?
The mulch, the outdoor gas tanks.
You said anything that wheels, is that kind of what it was?
Primarily it's the mulch and the outdoor gas tanks. You would really consider farming as outside storage.
And as far as the conditions that have been proposed, did you have any concerns with those? I feel like you guys have already talked about that when we went through the application process, and you didn't have any issues with the conditions that you were presenting. Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Or statements?
All right. Can you mark me on the checklist now?
We can close the deliberation. We're going to move directly into our decision worksheet. So under the new decision worksheet, we decided to put conditions up front. So condition number 1, from what I'm hearing, is that all exterior lighting must be pointed toward the property, and lumens at the property line shall not be increased from what they currently are. Is that correct?
Have lumens been measured currently? Have lumens been measured currently, so you can determine whether or not there is an increase or a decrease? Yeah. We'll take care of that.
And then condition number 2, that fencing shall be at least 75% impermeable.
Okay.
Is that, okay? I think that's what we're looking for.
I think the word was wrong. You said at least. I think it come out of C.
What's the section? What's the ordinance?
No fence more than 3 foot in height, or retaining wall more than 5 feet in height, which is more than 75% solid, may be placed in any front yard, including along the side lot line to the front of any principal building, unless approved by the Youngsville Board of Commissioners as a buffer in accordance with section 207.6 of this ordinance.
Okay. So the way the ordinance reads, it sounds like we have to approve if we want it to go over 75%, rather than it has to be 75%.
Right.
Right.
So,
And if he, according to this, oh my gosh, my old eyes. It says that there's gonna be slats on the front and the sides, is that correct? Like, you obviously don't need them on the back.
No, the front for sure is the face of the road. The sides, like we said, where needed, or screening of some plant material. Screening to me is plants versus forest slats.
Would you prefer slats on your side or another side? Just a question.
I live in landscaping on my side.
Yeah, like there's-
But I don't.
That's what I'm saying, is if he only has slats on the front and the side, I know, so then maybe there's, right, exactly, then he doesn't meet 75% or something. So if maybe the condition would just be that he puts slats on the front and the north side. And then there's nothing else.
Because that's way less than 75%.
Yeah.
I think we're required to 75% of that on the entire property. So, read that one more time, because it sounds like, is that, I mean, are we following the same line of reasoning with that, to say that what he's proposed is not even at 75%? Based on the.
That's the same condition what we want it to be, and we don't have to worry about whether he needs it or not.
Chain link fence with slats on it would exceed 75%.
Okay.
So, as a condition, we would state that fencing with slats in it.
Should be installed on the north side of the property. Is that what I'm hearing? North and east side of the property. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but it's facing Fleming and then facing their street. Just my question would be slats versus plants. I mean, because then it could be open field with green slats, or you do a green buffering. To me, I would have bushes and the fence behind it versus just looking at a big green wall. That's all. But whatever you guys, we'll have screening period, and then we can kind of work with them, whatever you guys want.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Fencing with slats and screening along the north side.
Or
Fencing
Or
with slats or screening.
Natural border would be preferable.
on the north and east side. Is that correct?
Fixing the slats in the screen on the north and east side. Would you go?
You said you wanted the slats on the south side for.
No.
No, it's fine.
So the north side faces the north side faces Anderson, and you can do slats, or you could do screens with bushes, and then the east side faces Fleming, now the slats.
green that you want to keep. I mean, it's unkempt and
Right.
all that.
I mean, my preference is based on the order, I have to keep 50-foot buffer anyway, so I can't touch it. It's gotta stay.
Somebody's got to touch it. Have you seen it over there?
I-
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, nobody touches it. Somebody needs to touch it. That's not part of this.
We can do that outside.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any conditions. Are there any other conditions that will forward in place?
Can you guys think of any other conditions that need to be addressed?
So what I have is all lighting must point inward and limits the property line cannot be increased from current levels. And fencing with slats or screening shall be installed on the north and east side of the road or of the property. And any problems with those conditions?
No, you said the north side could be screening or planks, right?
Right. Both sides can be
Either way.
So let's move into our question phase. Okay. So condition number 1, we're going to go on that. All lighting must point inward and lumens of the property line shall not be increased. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Condition number 2, fencing with slats or screening must be installed on the north and east sides of the property. Yes or no? Now moving on to question number 2. 710.1.1, the proposed use will comply with all of the dimensional and other standards which this ordinance applies to all users. Yes or no?
Yes.
710.1.2, question number 3. Access roads and entrance and exit drives are or will be suitable in size and properly located to ensure automotive and pedestrian-friendly safety and convenience, traffic flow, and control and access in case of fire or other emergency. Yes or no?
Yes.
Number 4, 710.1.3, off-street parking, loading, refuse, and other service areas are located so as to be safe, convenient, allow for access in case of emergency, and to minimize economic, glare, odor, and other impacts on adjoining properties in the general neighborhood. Yes or no?
Yes.
710.1.4, question number 5. Utilities, school, fire, police, and other public and private facilities and service would be adequate to handle the proposed use. Yes or no?
Yes.
Number 6, 710.1.5, the location and arrangement of the use of this site, screening buffering, landscaping, and pedestrian ways harmonize with adjoining properties and the general area to minimize adverse impacts. Yes or no?
Yes.
And then finally, number 7, 710.1.6, the type, size, and intensity of the proposed use, including such considerations as hours of operation and number of people who are likely to utilize the attraction points, will not have a significant adverse impact on adjoining properties or on the neighborhood as a whole. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. With all those yeses and the conditions we approved, this conditional use permit is approved.
Okay, reports and other business. Hearing none, if there's nothing else, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting and hit the road. Yeah, if you need to take a health break, feel free to go ahead and do so. They do.
here and one issue right over this one.
Really? Okay, let's get to that one.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order for the joint work session, Board of Commissioners, Planning Board, Implementation Strategy Workshop, downtown Youngstown. Welcome and introduction. You guys have already just sat through this grand meeting we just had, so we're going to move into the next portion of it. I'm Joe Johnson, Town Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem, our exclusive mayor and the lead.
Terry Evans, Larry Wiggins, Town Commissioner. Brian Stiles, Town Commissioner.
Pat Red, Town Commissioner.
Bill Cordero, Town Administrator.
Edward Ballmer, Town Attorney.
Emily Hurd, Clerk.
And Planning Board members.
Yeah, we'll do planning administrator.
Hank Little, Planning Board.
John Cyrus, Planning Board.
James Pierce, Planning Board.
And then we have a few guests. Rick?
My name is Rick Allen.
Yeah, Brandon Shanker, River Trust.
Stephanie Shane,
Law Clerk, Amy Thomas, Town Planner.
Okay, so we're going to go over the review of the results from the OOLA, the opportunity, obstacles, liabilities, assets, assessment.
Like to welcome Ms. Diane Young.
Yes,
who's working on the Department of Commerce.
Yes.
She's going to walk us through.
Thank you. Second visit back to Youngsville. For those of you who were here last time, I think I told you that that was the very first time I stepped into your community. Really enjoyed my time here. I actually came up yesterday afternoon because I never had a chance to really walk through your downtown. First time I came, it was rainy and windy and cold and it was awful. So I spent a couple hours and some of my hard-earned dollars in your downtown, really getting in, talking to some folks, enjoying your community. So I just really enjoyed my time in Youngsville. For those of you who were not here last time, and for those of you who were here last time, just to kind of reacquaint ourselves before we talk about, I'm going to do a quick refresher. Here we go. So, Downtown Strong is under the umbrella of Governor Cooper's Hometown Strong program. And as a reminder, Governor Cooper's desire is to work in rural communities across the state of North Carolina, and they basically came in and said, what are some things you would like to have some quick, instant help with? And 24 towns across North Carolina said, we want help with our downtown. So Youngsville is one of 24 towns participating in what's called Downtown Strong, which is under this umbrella of Hometown Strong. Downtown Strong is out of the North Carolina Department of Commerce, and they also manage what is called the Main Street approach to downtown revitalization. And again, as a very quick recap, especially for those of you who weren't here last time, Main Street is not a physical location in this sense. It is a process of revitalizing and managing a downtown. It's been in practice since 1980. I know it's late, so I won't dig a lot into the details of how it came about, but I am a poster child for the success of the Main Street approach. And it basically says that if you want to revitalize your downtown and manage your downtown well, you have to do 4 things. You have to have an organization, and that can be a committee, a task force, it can be a department of the town, it can be a separate nonprofit, but somebody has to drive the bus in managing your downtown district. You must promote the downtown district. You have to keep it on people's radar, and that can be accomplished through events, social media, websites, Facebook page, all of those fold into making people aware of your downtown. Design. You want your downtown to look good. So as you do those promotions and you're successful and people come to your downtown, you want them to really like what they see. You want them to have that good first impression. And then finally, economic vitality. Economic vitality under this approach is business recruitment and business retention. It isn't enough to recruit businesses into your town. You want to retain them. So the Main Street approach believes that if you work on all 4 of these areas at the same time, that you will be successful in revitalizing and managing your downtown. Word of caution here, we are never done revitalizing the downtown. I don't know if I stressed this last time or not. I work with 6 towns, so somebody slap me if I repeat something that I drilled into last time. But we're never done, right? I mean, in the 60s and 70s, when all of a sudden the malls were built and everything got sucked out of the downtowns. Nobody saw that coming. So now downtowns are starting to get cool again, and people are really enjoying what's in downtowns. But you never know what's on the horizon 10 years from now. What's the next thing that's culturally going to pull things out? So you always have to be looking at your downtown and reinventing it. So the goal of the Downtown Strong process, where do we want to get at the end? We want to develop 2 economic development strategies that this community can accomplish in 12 to 18 months that will move the dial of downtown in a positive direction. So these are not going to be monumental projects. They're going to be something that helps build infrastructure and you can leverage success off of. But it will be 2 economic development strategies is at the end of the day what we want to do. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to review what many of you helped to formulate last time I was here. We came up with 3 concepts, which I'll go over for strategies. And between Phil and some input from Bob and I, we've kind of molded it into 2 draft strategies that I want to present tonight and get your feedback on. So again, I want to go through how we arrived at what I'm going to present. We talked about the economic drivers because at the end of the day, what we're talking about is economic development. Downtown revitalization is economic development. And we want to hinge these strategies on what is currently driving downtown Youngsville's economy. So the list that we came up with was construction, proximity to major metropolitan areas, small locally owned businesses, location, and the growth that's kind of heading this way in some of the larger metropolitan areas that you can take advantage of in terms of getting market share from. Good paying jobs and lower cost of living. Your money goes further in Youngsville than say it might in Wake Forest or Raleigh. Proximity to major highways and arteries. Your ABC store is an economic driver for you. Chain stores and restaurants are also an economic driver in that they bring income into the town so that the town that has financial resources to do great things for its citizens. And recreation, parks, baseball, proximity to other recreational opportunities 20 to 30 miles away. That is kind of the overall list of what this group decided were the economic drivers. And then we went through an exercise of identifying opportunities, obstacles, liabilities, and assets. And we broke this down into that 4-point approach that I mentioned a minute ago. So we're going to start on the kind of negative side of the balance sheet and then on the positive side of the balance sheet. So here's what we talked about in terms of the liabilities for downtown Youngsville. From an organization side, funding. It's not as if there's this big pot of money to do just amazing things with the downtown. Promotion. Under promotion, traffic. Traffic along Main Street was a topic of discussion. No surprise, right? We heard that some people are afraid to park downtown and that it hurts business. I had some interesting discussions with your business owners, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. The background noise generated by high volumes of truck traffic. Again, under liabilities in the design category, handicap accessibility to walkways and buildings. In some places, narrow sidewalks 4 to 5 feet wide. Under economic vitality, lack of a small business center at the community college, and mostly Monday through Friday business hours in the downtown businesses. Those were identified as the liabilities of downtown Youngsville. More economic vitality, not enough mass. You're small, right? So you're not going to have this large amount of businesses where collectively you create a larger destination to pull in people in. You have some vacancies, really not a lot. You have some vacancies and lack of sufficient medical services in the area. Under obstacles, under organization, lack of volunteers. Too small to have a structured Main Street downtown committee. Your what we call capacity. You don't have a lot of capacity when it comes to volunteers and people that you can organize and put in charge of different components. Under promotion, it's difficult to close Main Street for events due to the DOT. Most events are held at Bloody Park, slightly outside of downtown. Business owners lack of experience and expertise in promoting their business.
communicating to segments of the community that do not use social media. And as I mentioned before, capacity, lack of manpower and resources. So those are some obstacles. They're not liabilities. They're certainly things that can be overcome over time, but they're obstacles. Under design, truck traffic and noise, balancing traffic flow designs with residential roads. Business owners need to develop front and rear entrances if rear entrance is going to be utilized as a storefront. Some drawings have been developed where it talks about some great spaces behind the buildings being developed to give just more places for people to sit because your sidewalks tend to be narrow. But again, if that's going to happen, those rear entrances become storefronts. So that's going to have to be worked through. Overhead utilities are an obstacle. Connectivity to larger gathering areas in schools and manufacturing businesses with front parking. Under economic vitality, the big obstacle is the size. That is perceived as an obstacle. All right, folks, let's move to the positive side of the balance sheet. Under assets, your organization, Gathering Youngsville, is an asset. The town staff was viewed as definitely an asset. Special event collaborations and partnerships, people working together, several organizations working together to put on events for the town. And active service organizations. Under promotion, there is successful cross-promotion taking place. You have 2 event venues. Event venues play a big role in bringing people to your downtown who might not otherwise have a reason to come downtown. And again, once they get here for that event at that venue, if they like downtown Youngsville, they're probably going to come back. Promotion is happening by a word of mouth. There is a sense of synergy in working together on events, and that is solid and increasing. You have some successful events, the Christmas tree lighting and a trick or treat. There are locations off Main Street where events can occur, and again, because of your size, that's important. Fortunately, these locations off Main Street are not way far away from your main core business district. And then guerrilla marketing techniques, such as the welcome bags, have been utilized. We have newly renovated buildings. You have a great mural collection in downtown Youngsville. Your downtown is not a cookie-cutter design. It has its own distinct character. As my husband says, you cannot build any more historic downtown districts, right? They're finite. And anything that you build new from scratch just doesn't have the character that an original downtown does. Experiencing the reuse of older historic structures, and you have contractors willing and able to work on downtown projects. That might not seem like a big deal, but in some downtowns, it's a huge problem finding people who will work on some of those projects. Main Street improvements are coming. Road improvements are coming. The Mountains to Sea Trail is definitely a design asset, and as I pulled in tonight, coming through the residential district, this big swath of bikers were biking past me heading out. That's just really awesome. And pedestrian bike plans have been done. So you have a lot of tools there to make even further improvements in your design. Under economic vitality, Wine and Beer 101, which has changed their name recently, am I correct?
It's Burn Barrel.
Burn Barrel, okay. Youngsville Pharmacy opening soon. Have they opened? Not yet, but they're coming, right? Okay. Business-friendly city staff and process for opening a business. The Yacht Club, you're the owners of the Yacht Club, right? I just love that little vista looking through that alleyway to front of your building. Cross in Maine, another economic vitality asset. Sharon's Deli, I ate there tonight. And Scoops Ice Cream, I was the one walking down Main Street chowing down a Moose Tracks ice cream cone yesterday afternoon. And you have great assets for downtown. The Tin Pig Antiques, another phenomenal business. History of successful businesses that have opened and stayed here and expanded. Successful professional services and a low vacancy rate. So you have a few vacancies, but in this case that's a positive because if your downtown doesn't look vacant, right? You don't have enough to where you go, my gosh, there's nothing here. But if a great business showed up and wanted to come into downtown Youngsville, you have some opportunity for them. And let's talk about the opportunities. Under organization, funding,
tapping into organizations, youth groups for volunteers, the Girl Scouts organization, communication, one overall organization to communicate with individual organizations. And remember, in this category, we're talking about who's getting involved, who's helping provide that human resources, who's driving the bus. Under promotion, again, more opportunities. Our State Magazine, articles and Our State Magazine do wonders for getting a community on the map. A downtown branding campaign was also talked about as another opportunity. Engaging Wake County organizations, greater use of social media, increased communication with website tools, and connecting social media to your town's website. Communication staff person is also another opportunity. Somebody that can be put in place to help with all these different promotional tools I just mentioned, social media, website, your branding, and capturing tourist traffic going to local destinations such as Hillside Farms and Panic Point. You get a lot of traffic going to those places, so pulling them into downtown is an opportunity. And promotions, workshops for new businesses. These are all things that could be done to help your downtown. And then under design, parking lot development, some improvements there, utilizing the art departments of the high school, street furniture, cleverly placed where you don't have a pinch point or narrow sidewalks, benches, trash receptacles, things of that nature. Design assistance and guidelines. Wayfinding signage is another great opportunity, especially with some places like Panic Point and Mill Ridge Farms and the traffic that they're pulling in. Building signage is another opportunity. You have some really great building signage. The building signage can really add a nice decorative element to that streetscape and add some color and creativity. 5 Points is an opportunity. An alternate truck route is an opportunity down the road to get some of the truck traffic off of Main Street. Your entryways are an opportunity to make a better statement about Youngsville. And then connectivity around the blocks. I mentioned that a minute ago, taking advantage of some of that open space you have behind the commercial buildings. Tech incubators are really big in downtowns. That is another opportunity. Restaurants, more restaurants, and then some vacancies that you have. So that was the conversation we had the last time I was here. And it took us about hour and a half to flush all that out. And then I said, all right, folks, given your economic drivers and given your assets and your opportunities, because we really do we leverage on what is happening right now that's positive, what can we do in downtown Youngsville to move the dial forward? And here is what the group came up with. Excuse me. Capitalize on the location and traffic in and around downtown Youngsville. You have a lot of traffic moving around this district, so how do you pull it in? Develop one new reoccurring event. So adding another event to your event calendar, being careful that it is not something that really taxes you in terms of volunteers and labor and funding. And then developing a communication plan. I think the mayor said living our best life. Is that something that gets thrown around? Because I've heard it as kind of a side. Yeah. Okay, so living our best life. And how do you communicate that? When I am talking to friends and colleagues, and they're like, Diane, who are you working with right now? What towns? And I mentioned Youngsville, and twice in the last couple of weeks, I had people say twice, oh my gosh, what a great community. You know, just what an awesome community. Downtown Youngsville has a great reputation. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'll tell you something else about communication. Your downtown business owners and even their employees also are your great ambassadors, and they're singing praise about this community. And let me give you a couple of examples. I went into 6 businesses while I was here and engaged with like 3 owners and 2 employees. And I heard from everybody, people are friendly here. Businesses work together. It's a really nice community. And these were all people who opened businesses here that were not from Youngsville. They made it a choice. And you know this better than I do. So you have the Tin Pig, who was in Wake Forest, moved her business here. Friends thought she was absolutely nuts. And she said, I moved here, I've already expanded. They followed me and my market has grown. She said, I love Youngsville. And she's the only person who just casually mentioned traffic. Yeah, there's a lot of traffic, because it's all good. And if I know business owners, and we have some business owners here, if somebody comes up to you and says, I'm in downtown revitalization, I didn't say what I was doing here, I said I'm in downtown revitalization, I just love going to businesses, give you some feedback. And typically a business owner with that introduction would tell you if they felt like something wasn't working right. These people had nothing but really good things to say. Same thing with Mary at Mary and Company. Went in there, bought a little gift, and my daughter, and she said the same thing. The folks at, Susanna's Antiques, am I right? Okay, so it was a manager, not the owner, but, and again, you probably know this, but the original Susanna's was in Raleigh, and they had to close because of a DOT project that basically took their building away. So rather than moving to another place in Raleigh, they came here. And then we have one other location in a small community, extremely happy. And the people that are coming into Susanna's are millennials. Young people, which really shocked the heck out of me, because we always hear that young people don't like antiques and collections, they're just not into that. There is kind of do yourself crafting things, assembling things, making things with things that you can buy with. So you have a lot of really good things happening in downtown Youngsville, and most of your business owners I've talked to are very excited about it. So, taking all of that into account, and looking at what we came up with last time, or what you came up with last time, let me tell you what we have flushed out as 2 potential strategies. I'm going to take a quick break of water. So, your locals love Youngsville, your businesses love Youngsville, people outside love Youngsville. We need to tell the story. We need to brand that. We need to package it in a manner that when people see Youngsville and see a brand, they get a sense of this is a really cool community. It needs to be creative and catchy. And so we'd like to suggest that one of the strategies be to hire a consultant to work with the town to develop a creative brand that embodies your unique assets of both your city and your downtown. We also would like to include this process, the development of wayfinding signs for primary arteries, so that people know that downtown exists and how to get here. And they say, Diane, that's crazy, we got a lot of truck traffic going through. Well, of course, you do have a lot of traffic and regular traffic going through Main Street, but in some of the outlying areas, people might, if they're not planning to go up this route, they might not know that downtown is here. I drove in yesterday afternoon and the traffic on Highway 1 was outrageous, right? But I made a turn on Holden, and the first thing I saw was Ridge Hill Farms wayfinding sign. Right there, make the turn, and there it is, with all the placards telling me all the things I can do at Ridge Hill Farm. There's nothing telling me that there's a downtown with shops and restaurants and museums and all sorts of things. So wayfinding sign. The thing about wayfinding signs too is you have some other ways of pulling people in. You have the Bloody Heart Trail that will be developed over time. And your wayfinding sign that's out on Highway 1 is going to look very different than a wayfinding sign that's at the entrance to a pedestrian trail from a park leading to downtown. So your signage needs to be developed for all these different potential locations. So that is the first strategy. The second strategy, when it came to a reoccurring event, I was a little nervous because events can be very time consuming. And so it was to develop a farmer's market / artist market to occur on a regular basis. So working with your local resources to develop a reoccurring market that highlights local produce in addition to locally produced arts and crafts. And Bob was kind enough to share with me a feasibility study that was done for a farmer's market in Franklin County, and Youngsville, after they flushed it all out, Youngsville was where they recommended that it be. So there's a lot of great information in that market study. And so the thought is to have that here, potentially in Luddy Park, and then, again, it's so close to downtown, because there, at a time when there are a lot of people, like some of the
Baseball, football.
thank you. Yes, where you've got people coming there, and then it'll just another reason for them to stay and let them filter in to your promotional core. So I have just thrown a lot at you, but let's just look at these two one more time. The first proposed strategy is to develop a brand for Youngsville and utilize the brand to design wayfinding signs. You don't design wayfinding signs first before you have your brand, because you want to tie it all together. But downtown Youngsville as a whole needs a brand. So this kind of accomplishes all of that. And then the second proposed strategy is to develop a farmers market / arts market to occur on a regular basis. One more thing I'd like to say about the market, and then I just really want to hear from you all, is that can be a business recruitment tool, especially with the artist side, because you get some folks who are attending these markets, and if they find that the products are really well received, it's been known that some of those folks then find a small space in your downtown core because they've kind of test-driven the market. And if their product is successful, it just makes them get more excited about taking their time. So that is what we flushed out. This is not set in stone. I was telling Phil, I again worked with 6 towns. One time I went in and thought it was a slam dunk. This is exactly what we talked about. I presented it. We spent the next hour hashing out some different strategies that were in the vein of it, but that's why we do this. That's why I come back a second time and present this to you. So give me some feedback first. Thoughts?
So you're proposing that the farmers market be at Luddy Park?
That was one thought. Give me some feedback on that.
Well, that happens on Saturdays, right? It's usually when farmers market is, or a Wednesday night, and typically Luddy Park is being utilized.
So it's chock-full.
There was probably about 8 years ago we tried to do a farmers market in downtown, and there's a lot of interest. Come up with a little logo for it, really cute. The only space we could find to do it was the railroad tracks, where the coffee shop now is, the little pack house.
Yeah.
And you're actually not allowed to do anything at the railroad tracks, so that kind of fell to the wayside because we couldn't find space. So my only concern, I think, is fantastic. I did definitely look at the research from Franklin County, and it's a great idea. And there are a lot of artists in the area, but I don't know where that would happen. And I think that would be a really important thing to know first before we decide that it's a good idea to move forward.
Sure.
So, to piggyback on that, I will share that I actually met with a woman who is very interested in organizing a farmers market. And she indicated that she thought that Saturdays from 9 to 2 would be a good time, and that she had at least 75 vendors that she had. After we had our initial meeting, she kind of put feelers out on social media and said that she had over 75 vendors that were interested in doing that. So if we had 75 vendors on a Saturday from 9 to 2, we could basically, while the baseball is going on, we might have, I think, one field that Texas Andrew was included in the conversation, our Parks and Rec director, and we could use those 2 rear fields, the 2 small fields, 3 and 4 in the back, put all the vendors there. We got signage in the parking lot or in the front saying, hey, there's a farmer's market. It's going to be taking place. So anyway, I just wanted to provide that information. I think I shared your concern, and based upon her feedback and her going out to the market of individuals that will bring fresh produce and or art or other types of things that you typically see at a farmer's market, they would be willing to do it on a Saturday.
So I'm just being a naysayer, because
Sure.
I feel like it's important. My child is playing baseball right now, and the parking is awful. And people are parking on the street, and I park at elementary school across the way. And so even if Faith is allowing us to use some of their parking lot, and you use that little great bridge that the Boy Scouts built, the signage will be super important for people to understand that to get to Luddy Park, they park at Faith. But if you're having 75 vendors, that's 75 cars already. And they can't really get easily 2 fields 3 and 4 with all their stuff. They're going to have to carry it across the bridge or down the baseball fields. And There's not a lot of street, you can't see it from the street, and it's still baseball. It all sounds fantastic, I know. But it doesn't sound realistic. It sounds great, and I think it's wonderful. I just don't.
Location.
I promise you, the town in working with the special event organizer to organize something like this will be very diligent in its efforts to ensure that the event is planned in such a way that it will be successful.
And I'm not saying don't do it. I think it's fantastic. This is the best number two because it'll bring people to town, which is what we need. So, and on a regular basis, when somebody says, "Oh, I get my eggs there every Saturday," like, that's great. I'm just being amazing.
No, you're not being negative. You are pointing out the realities of.
I think one of the keys is to talk to the folks at Faith Baptist as well, because they're more than willing to be helpful with us, especially now.
I love the idea of Faith Baptist and everything that they do for the community. I just don't know, how do you feel like
You're
they're.
talking about parking.
Oh, parking.
Not the event.
Okay, so it's one of the issue of the vendors and getting their stuff in. Let me ask, so this, what may be the strategy is actually to kind of work through, you know what I'm saying? Not that, okay, we're going to do the farmer's market, maybe the strategy is to study this.
Develop a plan
Develop a plan for a farmer's market.
How do you have a farmer's market in this town with 30 vendors?
That's exactly right.
And the pedestrian traffic,
Yep.
parking, all those types of things.
Yeah. Let me ask a question, and again, forgive me for not knowing more about this, but there are some big warehouse buildings kind of back behind here, right? Like there was the one near the railroad tracks that I had the photo of that mural. Are all of those utilized?
It belongs to one individual.
Okay.
Yes, but there is a company in that warehouse.
Okay. 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 Because I was studying, talked about the structure, that ideally it'd be great to have a structure that could be open air and then enclosed, you know, and use it for events and so, but I know as I think about, again, the footprint, I don't know where that structure would be. And you don't want to get it too far removed from your commercial core, you really, you know, for this particular strategy, so.
Well, might possibly do something similar to what they do in Raleigh for their street market. You close down on the side street. Visitors would do the market on the side street.
One of the recommendations for the person I spoke with was to use downtown, one of the streets, but my concern, I think parking would be a bigger issue there than it would be at Bloody. Between the school and Faith Baptist and the two parking lots at Bloody and potentially the Guard Armory if they're willing to cooperate and the town hall and the library, that's almost 500 parking spaces. So if we organize appropriately, I think it's probably the best way to facilitate drawing people in, which is, I think, one of the main objectives of this strategy.
It is, the main objective of the strategy is to draw people in on a regular basis with an event that the town isn't stretched in producing and that the town doesn't have to invest a significant amount of money in. Otherwise, you have to just plan for it in future budget years. So
you want to redirect these people into the downtown to
That's it.
go to the restaurants and things.
That's it.
You gotta get them there.
Yes, exactly. So we have a couple of choices with strategy 2. We can leave it as it is and make it a planning strategy, an exploratory strategy. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? The other option is there a different type of event that kind of fits the bill of fairly reoccurring, not very expensive, that will draw a lot of people in? So do we want to replace this, or do we want to keep this and do a really good study of it?
I would recommend contact the county manager. I might be wrong, but the county is just going to study on the market for the county. I don't know what the results were.
That's the one.
She referred to it earlier, and they recommended that.
That was done about 2 years ago.
Yes.
They decided young ones are not finding them and not burning.
That's
That's
right.
right. I mean, it was very clear at the end of that study, the recommendation was of all the different locations that Youngsville is centrally located. I think was one of the big reasons why.
I think part of that too was to look at what would be the market, and what Hood saying was the most probably successful location would be here.
Of course it is. say specifically
It didn't say,
where.
it didn't say exactly where, it said downtown, it said maybe US one corridor somewhere, but at least it indicated there would be a strong market potential. And elsewhere, every other place may have some potential, as strong as hospital roles in here, in this area.
Well, I think especially if someone who's interested in helping, we would be foolish to not move forward with this idea.
Okay. All right.
Just to then take a little bit of work.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
If it happens to be
Diane, it's not charging us more time.
After June 7th, remember, I'm off the clock. So, proposed strategy number one is to develop a brand for Youngsville, which obviously downtown will incorporate as well. And once that brand is developed, to design the wayfinding signs. And we're not talking about necessarily producing the wayfinding signs all at one fell swoop. Wayfinding signs can get expensive. So you would have the designs done, and then as you can work it into a budget cycle, not hit them all at once, or maybe you do, it's up to you. And with the Luddy Park Trail, as sections of that trail are developed, you would have the signage already designed, and you could just implement those as part of completing sections of the trail. Thoughts about branding and wayfinding signs?
I think they make a difference. They make a significant difference because, again, people who are already in this area, people being in the area, the tendency not to necessarily see sort of special things that are happening. And there's a lot of confusion. The people driving through, they're looking for some reason to come through. And it's clearly something that doesn't have to be extremely elaborate. It needs to be tasteful, something catches your business. So you know there's always, when you see that arrow with that particular color, that particular logo, that's what that means.
So it's, again, I saw the Cobridge Park sign once, and then when I saw the second one here across in Maine, when I was walking around, I barely had a glance at it. Oh yeah, there's another Cobridge wayfinding sign. I mean, it is repetition. I think too, with the amount of traffic you have going up Highway 1, there may be people going up and down that road who really don't know that there's a downtown Youngsville. And they might not make that turn at that point in time, but if they go up and down on a regular basis and they keep seeing that Youngsville downtown shopping, dining, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, there's that downtown. It's just awareness, it's increasing awareness. And if we can get them out near Cobridge Farm and catching the people that are going there.
So I saw earlier, we're thinking of a consultant to do that, is that?
Yes.
Obviously, we have to budget that.
Right. Or we could potentially.
It makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Or we could, we're gonna work pretty hard to try to find some grant funds potentially, but I mean, I think it's worth budgeting for either way.
So,
Might have somebody like graphic designers who do all of that.
I think that you can. I was asked to look at another community that had a really good wayfinding sign program that they developed, and I reached out and found out that it was Arnett Mulbrook who did that program, that design. I've known those guys for many, many years, and actually saw a presentation about a branding campaign that they did for Travelers Rest. Travelers Rest, South Carolina is in the shadow of Greenville, South Carolina. So Travelers Rest really wasn't on the radar because everybody goes to Greenville, South Carolina. But they did a creative branding campaign for them that was just really top-notch. It was phenomenal. So I've had some conversations with them and have looked at some of their other things. I guess what I like about them is that they dig into a process very similar to what we did. They look at the economic drivers. They really dig into what makes this town different. You know, because you really want this brand to embody the character of Youngsville so that people look at it and just get a feeling about your community. So that's why I just recommend going with a consultant that has that level. It goes through that process, much like the process we're doing now. So if you proceed with the branding process, you'll be called back in again to meet with somebody to go through very much the same exercises that we just did. But you'll have my presentation, to share with them, to give them some information. But they would really need to get to know the community well, that brand is going to really mean something and tie it to the community. So, thoughts about branding and wayfinding? Are we good with that strategy? Okay. So the last thing I want to show you, my final visit back will be to build these out into a proposed work plan. And it's very fluid. I'm going to work with Phil, and we're going to kind of map this out, and I'm going to bring you a work plan back. And the main thing is just to put in your hands a work plan template that addresses organization, promotion, design, and economic vitality, that 4-point approach. And even with these strategies, you plug it into those 4 points to make sure you're really covering all the aspects of revitalization. So let me very quickly show you what that would look like. And this is, again, just helping you understand what that work plan is going to feel like. It may not be exactly like this. So, from the organization standpoint, you hire a design firm to develop the brand and wayfinding signs. And the organizer would assist in scheduling meetings with local stakeholders as needed to support the firm's work, much like Phil did for this whole process. Under promotion, you would promote the start of the branding process, and you would organize a really awesome launch of the final product. It's really great to get the branding out there and get the community to buy in. Under design, you would integrate the brand into all outlets, including websites and social media. You would obtain that budget pricing on the wayfinding signs so that when they can be included in future budgets, they can be stalled over time. In the economic vitality, you need to share the brand with existing businesses and destinations. You want everybody in Youngsville to weave this brand into even what they're doing, because unless it's out there, unless everybody embraces it, it does not get the traction that it needs. So it has to be something that everybody takes on. Has any ever been to Floyd, Virginia? Floyd, Virginia?
I saw in December, and I love
the Republic of Floyd, right? So you go into all these really cool shops and places in little downtown Floyd, and they all have these Republic of Floyd signs. I mean, it gives you a sense
I love that place.
of how cool and creative that community is. That's kind of what we're talking about here. Just something that the entire community, it really represents Youngsville and who you are, and that everybody can embrace. I'm not going to go into strategy 2 because it's going to look a little different than this, but we are going to have the organization, promotion, design, and economic vitality components on the work plan. So my next visit will be my last visit under this program, and I'll be bringing back to you the template for the work plan that you will then take on and move forward. I remind you that you have a regional planner through the Department of Commerce, and so they can also work with you on some of these particular items. Any questions? We did a lot of really good work last time, so really helped with this. Thoughts, questions? How we feeling? Yes.
May I suggest the space around for the farmers market, especially in the beginning, maybe if it starts smaller with 30 vendors and really bigger, but it's a great space for vendors. It's right there next to Sharon's Deli, that has a cafe, ice creams there, chocolates there, and even there's like 40 parking spots for vendors. It's close enough to the post office, for the other warehouse that might be additional parking options. And even where the big warehouse is in the second one, they're renovating those, and then they have talks about adding additional parking, or even spilling over the vendor space to the grassy knoll. There's that beautiful garden, water feature, that might be just a great place for friends.
Yeah, you raise a really good point. I think sometimes we think of farmers markets as all being like right there together. Do you know what I mean? In one little lot, big lot in space. So I was thinking crazy is, well, maybe the vendors are like in each of the businesses in town. They'll like a pop-up market, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Is to be able to have the town thing instead of, oh, we want it in this space, or we want it in that space. Like, instead of having about 3 or 4, I kind of feel like the layout of our town lends itself to being able to have maybe 15 here, 10 here, 5 there.
Right.
And people can kind of hopscotch around and be able to see different artists and different vendors.
And it moves people through the downtown, probably benefiting the businesses more, right? So, yes. Yes.
So this is excellent discussion, and I think that part of the plan that we talked about, or one of the strategies, would be, beginning part of it would be having a group of work sessions that would,
Get this map set on the table.
need to include you and businesses downtown and talk about some of the ways that we can do that, so that's a great idea. I encourage you to, I'll certainly give you an invitation to all the sessions, that would be great.
Yeah. I think, again, Youngsville, you need to do it Youngsville's way. And if you can figure out a way to do something that is different and more creative than how everybody else is doing it, it just kind of fits into who Youngsville is, right? So zero identity. I think it's a great idea.
It's like you've been another day, it's a walkable space.
It's a
There's
very
some here and some there.
Yeah, I had a great time yesterday afternoon. I really did. I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. I walked up to the coffee place, not realizing it was a drive-thru. So I walked up, the sign's open, and I go to get in, and the door's locked, and I go, the sign's on. I was walking away, and then all of a sudden the door opened, and this very sweet young employee said, "Hi, we're a drive-thru, but if you want to walk up to the window, I'll be happy to give you a you know." And again, I said, I was talking to her for about 10 minutes. And even though she wasn't the owner, she was just telling me about how good things are going. They're actually looking at opening a second location in another community because it's been so successful here. I mean, sorry guys, you guys just have a great thing going here. So, you bottle it, package it, and sell it. Anything else to talk about? Okay. Melissa, I know it's like, thank you so much. This has been a great opportunity, and we will schedule my final visit back, and we'll bring you back some work plans and the final presentation that you can have, so you have something moving forward to show the civic organization